This video is not about people who were irresponsible with their money. It's not about people who didn't save. It's about the people who did everything right. They maxed out their 401k, they lived below their means, they worked with a financial advisor, and still found themselves in financial trouble in retirement. Because here's the truth that nobody in this industry wants to talk about. Just because you did everything right in your accumulation phase doesn't mean you'll automatically be okay in retirement, your distribution phase. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why and how to make sure that's not you. So first thing first, why should you even listen to me? Well, my name's Samaya Koksam. I'm a certified financial fiduciary and the founder of the Legacy Circle, and I've helped hundreds of retirees plan for retirement the right way so they head into it with confidence and clarity. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do the same. Now, before we get into the specific reasons, I want to reframe something for you. Most financial education in this country is focused on one thing: accumulation. How to save more, how to invest better, how to grow your account balance. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's great to become a disciplined saver and investor. But the problem lies in the fact that nobody taught you how to switch to the other side. And this is phase two. What do you actually do with the money that you spent all these years saving? And how can you live off of it? How can you turn it into income? How can you minimize your tax bill? How can you leave it in the most tax efficient way to your kids and your grandkids? That gap between saving and spending is exactly where smart people fall apart in retirement. So again, this is not a video about poor planning. It's a video about the wrong kind of planning, because even the smartest of people I've seen firsthand run out of money in retirement just because they plan for the wrong thing. They plan to save, but they never plan to spend. Okay, let's get into the reasons why smart people run out of money in retirement. Reason number one being they confuse an account balance for retirement income. Just because you've worked your way to saving $700,000 in your 401k does not automatically mean you've created $700,000 for yourself in retirement income. Realistically, that $700,000 is just a pile of money with no delivery system, no guarantees, probably not factoring in taxes, inflation, market swings. And without a proper plan to convert that savings, that account balance, into actual guaranteed income, you're truly just guessing how the next 20, maybe even 30 years of retirement will go. And realistically, how can you make sure that that money will actually last without a proper plan? Now, reason number two is one of the most overlooked risks in retirement planning. If you retire at the wrong time and didn't plan for proper protection, let's say there's another 2008 situation right as you're about to retire, the market's dropped 30% in year one of your retirement, and you still had that $700,000 sitting in your 401k. So there was no protection, it was exposed to that loss. And now you're withdrawing because the bills don't stop. You still have to pay them. So you're locking in losses. And because you're withdrawing in a down market, the market does not allow your account balance to recover. Even when the market recovers and bounces back, your account balance never does. And the people who retired in the 2000s, 2008, 2022, when the market was lower than 20%, in some years even lower than 30%, they learned this the hard way. Not because they were bad investors, simply because they retired at the wrong time without a proper protection plan in place. And reason number three, they underestimated inflation. Now, inflation is sneaky. It doesn't really show up on a daily basis. It's not noticeable, but it quietly erodes everything over time. And a lot of people make the mistake of planning for retirement around what things cost today. But the definition of inflation is that that same lifestyle costs significantly more 10, 20, maybe even 30 years from now. So let's do the math. $5,000 a month today is not $5,000 a month in 15 years. At 3% inflation, year one, it's $5,000. But year 10, that's only $3,820 in today's dollars. And then year 20, you're looking at $2,920 in today's dollars. So your expenses are growing, but your fixed income in retirement does not. And reason number four, they didn't plan for healthcare. Now, this one is scary because obviously we don't know what our future health holds. And because a lot of people don't plan for this, thinking that they're invincible, they'll live forever, this one probably has single-handedly wiped out retirement balances the most. Because the average healthcare cost in retirement from age 65 to 74 is about $6 to $8 grand per year. Then when we start looking at age 75 to 84, we're looking at a cost of 9 to 13 grand each year. And then after 85, you're looking at 15 grand to maybe even 25 grand each year. And we're not even including long-term care specifically, which averages about 50 to 100 grand each year. And this is on top of all your other expenses. And obviously nobody wants to talk about potentially needing long-term care, assisted living, and home nursing. And because people avoid those conversations, there's usually never a bucket of their retirement savings allocated for the what ifs. And when they hit, and unfortunately they almost always do, they completely devastate accounts that were otherwise on track. And finally, reason number 5, they forgot that the IRS is their silent retirement partner. Every dollar that you've been contributing in that traditional 401k, traditional IRA, TSP, 403b, 457, any pre-tax accounts, the IRS has never been paid yet. And in retirement, every withdrawal that you take to pay your bills, to take that trip, to supplement your income, is taxed as ordinary income. And let's say you never plan to touch that money because maybe you have a pension, you're living good, Social Security's taking care of you. Well, doesn't really matter because at usually age 73 to 75, depending on your birthday, start RMDs, required minimum withdrawals, which are just forced withdrawals that the IRS requires. So that way, even if you didn't plan to touch those pre-tax accounts, they will get their money and they will get their taxes. And this one people come to me complaining about all the time because they genuinely did not realize how it would impact their retirement game plan. Because the tax bill in retirement is often way bigger than people really expected it to be. And we're not even going to talk about IRMA and how withdrawals can push you into a higher tax bracket, making you pay more in taxes, making your Social Security tax more, making you pay more in Medicare premiums. It can get really messy. Now, here's what makes this really devastating. In most cases, these 5 problems don't happen all at the same time. They stack on top of each other and create kind of like a snowball effect. First, you retire without a formal income plan. Then the market crashes in the first year or few years of your retirement. Then over time, inflation just keeps increasing, eroding your purchasing power of your dollar. Then that unexpected healthcare situation pops up, and now you have all these unexpected healthcare costs. And then to add on top of all of that, the unexpected tax bill from the IRS. This is how even the smartest of people run out of money in retirement. And unfortunately, this is the reality for millions of Americans who technically did everything they were supposed to do. Now, let's pause here because this video isn't meant to scare you, but it is meant to wake you up. Because here is the most important thing that I want you to take from this video. Every single one of these problems has a solution, but only if you address them before you retire, not after. No income delivery, no retirement income plan, solvable. Market risk for your retirement savings, solvable. Inflation even, solvable. Healthcare costs, plannable. Tax bill, strategically reducible. But all of these solutions require action before you retire. So when I'm working with a client and building them a retirement plan, I build one that solves all 5 of these problems, and here's what it looks like. First thing first, a guaranteed income floor, a monthly check that shows up for the rest of your life, that isn't affected by the market, interest rates. It's guaranteed to show up no matter what. And yes, Social Security is a form of a guaranteed income check, but it should not be your only guaranteed income check. Second is principal protection. Money that can continue to grow without the risk of loss. You have to switch your mindset from just being super accumulation focused, trying to chase the market, trying to get the max returns, even if it comes with taking on the most amount of risk. You have to peel back from that a little bit, at least if you want to ensure that your retirement savings lasts throughout retirement. Because having a portion for growth in the market is totally fine, but you do want to secure a portion of your savings that can continue to grow but without any type of risk. So that's what we add in as a layer of protection in a retirement plan. Next is going to be a Roth conversion strategy. Basically just making a game plan to make sure your pre-tax money can slowly be converted into tax-free money and continues to grow on a tax-free basis. So that way later on, your tax bill isn't super high, and before RMDs hit, you have very little or no tax responsibilities. And then healthcare reserves, just some type of dedicated bucket for rising medical costs. This could be something that's just completely liquid. This could be something that's positioned for growth, but can be easily accessible if we need it for healthcare. This could be a specific vehicle that will maybe give you extra tax advantages if the funds are used for healthcare costs, or maybe they double the benefit of your healthcare costs. There's a couple different ways to set that healthcare reserve up, but you want to have it included. So let me show you what this looks like in real numbers. Let's say for even sake, we're taking 500,000 from a 401k. We take 200,000 from that 500,000, place that into a guaranteed income annuity, because with an income annuity, it's one of the only vehicles that can create guaranteed lifetime income for you. And let's say off of 200,000, of course, these numbers completely depend on you and your situation, but it pays anywhere from $1,400 to $1,800 a month for the rest of your life. Then, depending on your risk tolerance, we put the other 200,000 in a fixed index growth annuity that's still protected to grow, averaging about 9-10%, but now there's no risk of loss. If you're somebody who's comfortable being more aggressive in the market, maybe we leave that 200,000 in an IRA, let it grow with the market, but obviously at that point it's still at risk to lose money. So it's kind of a case by case situation there. But the last 100,000 becomes our healthcare and our liquid reserve. Just kind of that extra peace of mind. If an emergency comes up, you know it's there for that emergency. Now add on your Social Security on top of that. Maybe you get a pension. And all that combined with your guaranteed income annuity funds is a real guaranteed monthly income strategy and real retirement security. That's the difference between a savings account and a real retirement plan. Now, some of you are already within 5 years of retirement and have not started putting together this retirement plan yet. And right now, your window is still open, but it will not be open forever, because realistically, every year you wait, rates change, your age changes, your options change, and they usually narrow. The smartest thing you can do today to make sure you're properly prepared for retirement is find out exactly where you stand before retirement finds you unprepared because time got away from you. And if you need help putting together this retirement plan, our firm specifically works with people who have at least 300,000 or more saved for retirement and are within 5 years of retirement. So if you need help, go ahead, use the link in the description to book a strategy call with me so we can start putting that plan in place for you. Talk soon.